Why isn't Jungkook's name being mentioned in HYBE's 2025 comeback plans? Why are official promotions for BTS's post-military era vague, especially when it comes to the group's golden magne? And most importantly, what is HYBE not telling us, as all BTS members prepare to complete their military service by mid-2025? Fans have eagerly awaited signs of a long-awaited full-group comeback. HYBE has dropped hints, teased group activities, and subtly hyped what many are calling a BTS renaissance. But amid this rising anticipation, one thing stands out like a sore thumb. Jungkook's name is suspiciously absent. Recent press releases refer to BTS as a whole, but don't mention individual members. Not even Jungkook, whose solo career before enlistment was the most globally dominant of all .in promotional materials, HYBE has pushed vague language like a new chapter and evolving BTS identity, but fans are asking, is this evolution with or without Jungkook? Let's talk about what Jungkook achieved in just 1 year before enlistment. Over 1 billion Spotify streams, collaborations with global icons like Jack Harlow and Justin Timberlake, a chart-topping solo debut album, historic live performances, including on the FIFA World Cup and major US awards shows. So, why isn't HYBE screaming his name from every rooftop instead of pushing his solo legacy? The company seems to be retreating from his brand. Some fans speculate this is because HYBE doesn't know if Jungkook will fully return to BTS activities. Others believe contract tensions behind closed doors are preventing the company from overcommitting. They don't want to promote someone who might not promote with them, wrote one ARMY user on Reddit. Could that be the real reason? HYBE isn't new to calculated silence. In the past, they've avoided addressing controversy until the last possible moment, often using vague phrases like, "We are in discussion," or "We support all members equally." This is the same company that delayed clear communication about BTS's hiatus, Jin's military enlistment, and V's solo promotions until fans demanded transparency. So when Jungkook disappears from promotional timelines, seasoned armies don't just accept it. They investigate it, and what they're finding is disturbing. And direct quotes from Jungkook in recent HYBE comeback announcements: no dedicated content re-promoting his solo music in early 2025 playlists, no visible interaction between HYBE's CEO and Jungkook since his enlistment, no references to a solo comeback plan post-military, unlike V, RM, and Jimin, who've had tentative updates, one fan pointed out. They're treating Jungkook like a guest, not a pillar. Either they're being careful, or something's already been decided behind the scenes. Industry insiders suggest there's a deeper game at play. Jungkook reportedly has the most flexible solo contract terms among BTS members. Before enlistment, rumors swirled about him receiving offers from international labels, offers that included profit-sharing models, creative freedom, and even relocation to the US for extended solo work. If those offers are real, and if Jungkook is considering them, then HYBE has a reason to stay quiet. Why promote someone who might no longer be part of your brand next year? The lack of public support from HYBE doesn't just feel like indifference. To some fans, it feels like a subtle distancing, a quiet test to see if the public will accept a version of BTS without its youngest star. And if Jungkook doesn't appear in comeback materials by Q3 2025, it might be too late to pretend it's just an oversight. What if Jungkook isn't missing because of miscommunication, but because he's already decided? What if the agency's silence is actually his request? What if the most powerful member of BTS has already taken his first step, quietly, strategically, toward full independence? We may never get a press release that says it outright, but sometimes the loudest message is the one that's never spoken. And right now, HYBE's silence is deafening. The question isn't just why HYBE is quiet, it's what exactly are they trying to avoid saying? And perhaps more chillingly, what if Jungkook doesn't want them to say anything at all? In K-pop, silence is rarely innocent. Agencies communicate through omission just as powerfully as through press conferences when a name as big as Jungkook goes missing from materials meant to shape the future of BTS. It becomes more than a coincidence, it becomes a clue. You don't just forget to mention Jungkook. That's like a movie forgetting to list the lead actor, said one entertainment columnist in a recent panel. And yet, HYBE has done exactly that. repeatedly did IN its 2025 investor roadmap in its official press briefings about BTS's post-military return, even in curated playlists on Spotify and Melon. Whereas Jungkook, and more importantly, what is his silence telling us? Look closer and you'll see. Jungkook has been pulling away for a while now. IT didn't start with military enlistment, IT started before that with subtle signs most people missed. His decision to delete Instagram. Even as other members kept theirs, his increasing focus on solo English language releases, his reluctance to speak publicly about group plans, his final live broadcasts, where he thanked fans in a way that felt like a long goodbye. These weren't random decisions. They were breadcrumbs. And now, with HYBE stepping back from promoting him aggressively, maybe it's not a cover-up. Maybe it's compliance. According to multiple industry insiders, Jungkook is currently the most valuable solo brand in Korean music history. His global appeal is unmatched. His vocals are industry gold. And his streaming power rivals full Western acts like The Weeknd or Post Malone. A source from an international label who asked to remain anonymous confirmed, if Jungkook were to launch his own label or sign independently in the West, he could build a billion-dollar solo empire. He doesn't need a group to sustain him anymore. So, what if HYBE knows this? What if they're trying to secure their control over him, but he's already planning an exit? What if their silence is a form of negotiation? What if everything they're not saying is actually a strategy to hold the fandom together just a little longer? Let's be honest. If HYBE did confirm that Jungkook might not return fully with BTS, the backlash would be massive. Stock prices, global press, sponsorship contracts, fan loyalty. The ripple effect could hit every layer of the business. What's easier? Silence, ambiguity, strategic vagueness. Because as long as there's no official announcement, they can keep hope alive and keep the system running. For fans, this isn't just business. It's heartbreak. Jungkook isn't a brand to ARMY. He's not a product. He's family. They grew up with him. They saw him cry, laugh, fail, evolve. They trusted him with their emotions. The idea that he might choose to walk a different path, or that HYBE might be preparing the world for a BTS comeback without him, that's not just controversial. It's emotionally devastating. It feels like he's slipping through our fingers. One longtime ARMY posted on X, and we're being told to stay calm. But how can we, when no one is telling us the truth? Here's the twist no one wants to say out loud. What if this silence isn't betrayal? What if this is Jungkook's freedom? What if the boy who once said, "I have no dream of going solo," has changed, not because he's turning his back on BTS, but because he's finally discovering who he is beyond it? What if this is the next chapter, not of distance, but of destiny? By July 2025, Jungkook is expected to complete his service. HYBE will have to speak. Jungkook will have to appear, and ARMY will finally learn the answer to the question that's been haunting them since the day he enlisted. Is Jungkook still BTS, or is he becoming something more? One thing's for sure. The silence won't last forever, but when it breaks, the truth might shake the fandom to its core. The countdown to Jungkook's discharge has already begun. By July 2025, the world will finally see what path he chooses. But the silence that surrounds him now isn't just ominous, it's strategic, because when Jungkook reappears, it won't just be as a soldier returning to civilian life. IT will be as a man who holds the power to change the future of K-pop forever. HYBE has made it clear. Something big is coming in 2025. They've teased group reunions, anniversary events, new music. But notice what they haven't done. They haven't promised Jungkook, and if he does come back, under what conditions? Will he rejoin fully, shoulder to shoulder with his members? Or will he appear selectively, safeguarding his solo empire? The world is watching, and every choice he makes will carry weight not just for BTS, but for millions of fans who've staked their emotions on one hope, that their golden magne will still come home. Point 1. The full BTS comeback. He rejoins all members for music, tours, and full-scale group activities. Hopeful outcome, but with risks. Will his solo identity be buried? Will his creative control shrink? 2. The hybrid path. He appears with BTS occasionally, major anniversaries, one album, but focuses on global solo expansion. Likely scenario: HYBE can keep public peace. Jungkook keeps his freedom. Point 3. The quiet goodbye heave doesn't return with BTS at all. Instead, he launches an independent label or signs abroad. Earth-shattering. Fans split, HYBE reels, and the age of BTS transforms permanently. Each path carries consequences, and Jungkook's decision won't just affect the industry, it will redefine it. For HYBE, Jungkook is the crown jewel. He's the most streamed Korean soloist on Spotify, the youngest, the most versatile, the most internationally relevant. Losing him, even partially, means losing their strongest global bridge. And if Jungkook ever announces, "I love BTS, but it's time for me to walk alone," the market will shake, investors will panic, headlines will explode,